Where is she? Peter Daniels muttered, staring at the double doors. Let's get this circus over with. Tina smirked beside him, swirling a glass of wine. Relax, maybe she's not that bad. Peter turned sharply. You didn't see the photo I got. Blurry, probably on purpose. Charles Daniels straightened his tie. You're not here to fall in love. You're here to secure our future. The Richardsons are old money. This marriage locks in our tech deal. Simple, Peter scoffed. Simple? I'm marrying a stranger so you can cash out. Don't be dramatic, Veronica said, smoothing her dress. They're offering us half their AI division after the wedding. That's not a joke. Right, and no one thought to tell me what she looks like? We didn't think it mattered, Charles said flatly. Before Peter could reply, the doors opened. Amira walked in, smiling shyly. Her navy dress hugged her full figure, and her hands trembled slightly as she walked. Her eyes lit up when she saw Peter. Peter's face twisted. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The words came out louder than he expected. The room went silent. Amira slowed, her smile fading. She blinked, unsure if she heard him right. Peter stepped back, disgust clear on his face. Is this some kind of joke? Peter! Veronica hissed, grabbing his arm. Tina snorted behind her wine glass. Charles stood. That's enough. Amira stopped a few feet away, her hands now clenched. Hi, she said softly. Peter didn't respond. He just stared. Veronica quickly stepped forward. Amira, dear, I am so sorry. Please forgive him. He's just overwhelmed. Amira nodded once. It's all right. No, it's not, Veronica snapped, spinning toward her son. You're embarrassing yourself. Peter muttered. You could have warned me. What's that supposed to mean? Amira asked quietly. Peter looked her dead in the eye. It means I wasn't expecting to marry someone twice my size. Amira flinched. Charles barked, Peter! Sit down. Peter didn't move. He whispered into his dad's ears, You expect me to fake my way through this for a deal? With her? Amira's chest rose and fell with shallow breaths, but she didn't break. She felt uncomfortable with everything going on around her, how they looked at her, their obvious fake smile, but she didn't alter a word. She just kept it cool. Veronica turned to her again. You're beautiful, Amira, and very kind. You didn't deserve that. Amira nodded again. Thank you, ma'am. Tina came beside Peter and whispered, Maybe you should ask for a fork with the wedding ring. Amira heard it. This time she smiled faintly. You're just as shallow as your brother, aren't you? Tina blinked. Excuse me? Amira turned toward the table. Let's sit. I think we all know why we're here. Veronica hesitated, then gently guided her toward a chair. As everyone else settled, Peter remained standing. Tina leaned close and whispered, I give it 6 months. Tops. Peter replied, I'm not lasting 6 weeks. Later, that night, Amira sat in her guest suite alone. Her phone buzzed. Danielle. So, did he sweep you off your feet or step on them? Amira stared at the screen a while before replying. He looked at me like I was garbage. I don't know, but I feel like something is off. Do I need to show up with a bat? No, my family wants me gone. I'm like a burden to them. I'll deal with it. You're not a problem to be gotten rid of, Amira. To them, I am they think no one. We ever love me because I'm a plus size, and that calls for an arranged marriage. To total, not just a stranger, but someone who doesn't feel I'm good for him. She locked her phone and curled into the bed. Tears gathered, but she didn't let them fall. Can I still back out? Peter asked as he stared at his reflection in the mirror. Tina, lounging on the sofa in his suite, laughed. Technically, yes, but say goodbye to your bank account. He turned to her. I'm serious. I don't think I can go through with this. Tina raised an eyebrow. Dad will kill you, Mum will cry, and the company will burn. You're really going to blow up your whole life because your bride is a few sizes up? Peter scoffed. A few? She rolled her eyes. You're marrying for power, not for love. Look on the bright side. You'll just be her husband in name. After the wedding, you can live your life however you want. Get yourself a side chick to keep you happy. Yeah, you're right, he replied, but pretending won't be easy. I guess I'll just have to fake it until we seal the deal. After that, I'll make her life a living hell, so unbearable that she'll be the one to walk away from the marriage. He sank into a chair. She thinks I'm going to save her, he said, smiling slightly. Tina shrugged. That's her problem, not yours. Just say the vows and survive the night. Then do whatever you want. A knock came at the door. It was Charles. 10 minutes. Be ready. Peter didn't respond. In Amira suits. Are you okay? Danielle asked, adjusting the veil. Amira nodded slowly, eyes fixed on her reflection. But I'm a little bit scared. I just feel like he doesn't want me. Danielle put a hand on her shoulder. Then don't marry him. I have to. No, you don't. My parents think this is the best I'll ever do. If I walk away, they'll never let me forget it. Danielle's jaw tightened. You don't need their approval. I know. Amira swallowed hard. But maybe it's his first time being with someone plus size. Maybe he's just tense, especially since we don't really know each other yet. I believe he'll change once I become his wife. Danielle didn't respond. She didn't want to say what she was really thinking. At the ceremony, Peter stood stiffly at the altar, jaw locked. When Amira walked in, the guests stood. She looked beautiful, radiant even, in her gown. But Peter's expression didn't change. He tried to put on a fake smile, but his lack of interest made it hard to maintain. He couldn't even look at her properly. As she reached the front, he offered his hand nonchalantly. Her fingers trembled as they touched his. I, Peter Daniels, he said through clenched teeth, take you, Amira Richardson, to be my wife. He almost choked on the last word. Amira's voice was soft but clear. She smiled as she said these words. I take you, Peter Daniels, to be my husband. The crowd clapped as the officiant declared them married. Amira mother smiled happily as she turned to her husband. At least their plus-size daughter, his now, officially married. Peter leaned in to kiss her cheek, but barely touched her, not even a whisper of warmth. Tina, from the front row, muttered, awkward. Her mum and dad hugged her tightly. Then her mother said gently, don't worry, darling. I know it feels awkward now, but I promise, once you start living together, just give it 2 to 3 months. You two won't be able to live without each other. You'll grow into love. Marriages like this often turn out to be the strongest. Trust me. Amira nodded, tears welling in her eyes. At the reception, later that evening, you're not going to eat? Amira asked quietly as she sat beside him at the table. Peter didn't respond. She tried again. Maybe we can talk later. Try to start fresh? Still nothing. She placed her fork down. Peter. He turned to her slowly. Let's get something clear. This isn't real. This isn't love. It's a deal. Amira's throat tightened. But we're married. In name, he said coldly. Don't confuse a contract with a connection. Tina walked up to the table. You two look stiff. Peter smirked. That's because I'm sitting next to my business partner dressed like a bride. Amira stood abruptly. Excuse me. She walked away from the table, struggling to hold back tears. Veronica spotted her and hurried over. Amira, my darling, are you okay? Amira shook her head. Your son. He hates me. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Veronica said softly. He just needs time to adjust. I promise he will. Don't worry. I'll talk to him. Amira looked up, her eyes glistening. But what if he doesn't? Veronica paused. She had no answer. That night at the hotel room, Amira entered the room first. her hands gripping the edge of her gown. Peter came in a few minutes later, loosened his tie, and tossed his jacket over the chair. "We'll arrange separate rooms once we're back home," he said flatly. "This is just for show." Amira turned to face him. "You couldn't even wait for us to settle in. Do I irritate you that much?" Peter met her gaze. "I'm not forcing you, Amira. You know I never wanted this in the first place." Amira looked at him, then gave a small, disbelieving smile. "Yeah, I know. You didn't want this. But my family and your family need this. Maybe your family needs this marriage more than anyone. Still, I'm not trying to be rude. I just think, maybe we could try. Give love a chance. At least spend some time together." "That's impossible," Peter muttered. He grabbed his phone and walked out of the room without another word. Amira stood frozen, staring at the wall. After a long moment, she walked slowly into the bathroom and locked the door behind her. Peter dropped his bag in the hallway and turned to Amira, who had been quietly following him since they stepped into the house. "I already told the staff to set up a separate room for you," he said, not even looking at her. Amira frowned. "You couldn't even wait until we got inside before reminding me." "I just want to be clear," Peter replied flatly. "I don't want any confusion about this arrangement." "So we're calling our marriage an arrangement now?" she asked, arms folded. "That's exactly what it is." Amira's eyes narrowed. "You didn't even give it a chance, not one day." Peter finally looked at her. "What exactly were you hoping for, Amira? That I'd suddenly fall in love with you because we recited a few vows in front of people we don't even care about?" "I wasn't expecting love," she said firmly. "I was expecting decency, maybe even a little kindness. I'm not asking you to pretend. This marriage was forced on both of us, but you don't have to treat me like I'm beneath you." Peter scoffed. "I don't have the energy to fake anything, and I'm not going to play the doting husband when I never wanted this." Amira stared at him. "Neither did I, but I came in with a little hope that maybe we could build something, even if it's just friendship." Peter shook his head with a cold smile. "Let's be real. Your family was just trying to get rid of you. That's why they used you as an exchange to save my dad's company." Amira looked at him in disgust. Then, with calm firmness, she said, "Don't you think I'm the one with the upper hand here? If your family needs my family's help, then you should act right, because with just one word to my father, this whole thing could fall apart." Peter smirked. "Well, the contract only required me to marry you, not love you, and I've done exactly that. If you think breaking the deal is that easy, you'd be breaching the contract." Amira clenched her fists, fury rising in her chest. She wanted to slap him, but held back. "Just stick to your side of the house," Peter said coldly, "and I'll stay out of your way." Then he turned and walked down the hall without waiting for a response. The next morning, Amira sat at the breakfast table, slowly stirring her tea. The silence in the house was suffocating. The staff tiptoed around her, offering polite smiles that quickly faded. Peter came downstairs, fully dressed, grabbing his car keys. "Going out again?" Amira asked calmly. He barely paused. "Yeah. You've been out every night since the wedding. You only come home to sleep." Peter gave her a dry look. "And maybe you should start acting like you live here, like you're married." He let out a short laugh. "You're the one treating this like a real marriage, Amira. I told you from the beginning, I'm not playing house." Amira sat up straighter. "You treat me like I'm a mistake, like I'm some kind of punishment." "Why?" Peter met her gaze. "Because I didn't want you. I didn't ask for this, and I'm not going to pretend just to make you feel special." Her lips tightened. "You could at least try not to be cruel." Peter shook his head. "I'm just being honest, and I don't have time for this." Before she could say another word, he walked out the door. Later, that day, Tina strolled into the living room like she owned the place. She dropped her bag on the couch and plopped down beside Amira, who was reading a book. "No greeting?" Tina teased. "That's not very hostess-like." Amira closed her book. "Did you need something?" Tina smiled. "Nope, just checking on the newlyweds. Or should I say, roommates?" Amira gave her a tight smile. "If you came to throw jabs, I'm not in the mood." "I'm not jabbing," Tina said, raising her hands. "Just pointing out the obvious. You and Peter are clearly living separate lives. Can't say I'm surprised." Amira stood. "You really enjoy trying to make me feel less, don't you?" "I'm not, sweetheart," Tina said, leaning back. "You walked into this house thinking you could change everything. You thought kindness would win him over. That's not how it works." "I didn't come here to win anyone," Amira replied firmly. "I came here to be a wife. Whether Peter wanted me or not, I still plan to respect this marriage." "Well, good luck with that," Tina said with a smirk, "because Peter's not going to wake up one day and magically see you as someone he wants. He's already looking elsewhere." Amira's stomach twisted. "What do you mean by that?" Tina shrugged. "I mean, don't be surprised if he stops coming home altogether. It's already obvious." Amira didn't respond. She walked out of the room, leaving Tina alone. That night, Peter came home late again. Amira was waiting in the hallway. "You've been gone all day," she said, as he stepped inside. "I don't even know where you go anymore." He pulled off his jacket. "That's none of your business." "We're married, Peter. For goodness sake, what's your problem? Have some decency." "Legally, that's it." Amira stepped closer. "Are you seeing someone else?" He looked at her, unfazed. "Would it matter if I was?" "It would matter to me," she said firmly. "I may not mean anything to you, but I'm still your wife. I deserve respect." "I can't believe this," she added. "Do you know I could report you to the police?" Peter let out a loud laugh. "Wow, you're not just fat. You're senseless. If you're tired of this marriage, you can call it quits. It's not like I'm forcing you to stay." Amira smirked bitterly. "You know what, Peter? You're the foolish one here. The only reason I'm still giving this marriage a chance is because of your mother. Don't forget, my family can still pull out of this deal. It's not finalized. I'm just hoping you'd start acting right." Peter scoffed. "Stop threatening me with that contract. Every time we argue, it's the same thing. But deep down, you know if you leave, it'll bring more shame to your family than mine. Imagine the headlines. Plus-size billionaire's daughter ends marriage after 1 month. You really think any man would want to settle down with a whale like you?" Amira stood frozen, her mouth slightly open. His words cut deep, and as much as she hated to admit it, some of it echoed the fears she carried inside. Peter continued coldly, "Be happy I took on your family's burden." Amira clenched her fists, but held back her tears. "I don't care if I'm not your type. I'm not asking for love or affection. I just wanted to be treated like a human being." Peter said nothing. He turned and headed upstairs. Amira stood in the hallway, trembling with rage. The next night, 2 a.m., Amira walked down the stairs, craving a glass of water, when she heard the front door slam shut. Laughter echoed. She froze halfway down as Peter entered with a tall, blonde woman in a red dress. Her lipstick was smudged, and one heel dangled from her hand, while the other was still on her foot. Peter didn't even try to be quiet. The woman giggled. "This house is huge. Are we alone?" Peter grinned. "Practically." They disappeared down the hall. Amira stood still on the staircase, one hand gripping the rail, her heart pounding and stomach in knots. He brought her here, into their home. The next morning, Peter strolled into the kitchen, humming like nothing had happened. Amira was already there, stirring a pot of tea. You didn't even bother to hide it? She asked without looking at him. He opened the fridge casually. Hide what? You brought a woman into our house, into our marriage. Do you really have that little respect for me? Peter poured himself a glass of juice. Don't act surprised. I told you this marriage wasn't real. But this house is real. I live here, and last night I heard everything. Peter leaned against the counter. So what? You think I'm going to feel guilty? You knew what this was. Amira turned to face him. No, Peter, I knew what you were. I just didn't realize how far you'd go to prove it. He laughed softly. You don't get to guilt me. I never wanted you. And just because you wear a ring doesn't mean I owe you anything. You owe me basic human decency. Peter stepped closer. You want decency? Then stop pretending we're anything more than business partners. You're here because our families agreed. That's it. Amira's voice cracked. You don't even feel bad. No, he said coldly. I don't. He walked out, leaving her standing alone, fighting back tears. Tina strolled into the kitchen moments later, tossing her sunglasses on the table. Well, someone looks like she's been crying. Amira didn't respond. Tina smirked. Let me guess. Peter had company last night. Amira finally looked up. Why do you enjoy this so much? Watching your brother hurt someone who did nothing to him? Tina poured herself a drink. I'm just being honest. It's not as easy for my brother as you think. If you were in his shoes, maybe you'd have done the same. Arranged marriages aren't a fairy tale. But hey, look on the bright side. Maybe if you lost some weight, he'd like you, don't you think? You're so annoying, Amira snapped. Your brother is breaking his vows, and all you can say is lose weight. You make it seem like I'm the one at fault. Tina burst into laughter. Well, well, well. I was only trying to help. You can keep nagging, or maybe fix yourself. Amira walked up to her, eyes blazing. You and your brother are exactly the same. Then she turned and walked out. Tina laughed as she left. Amira lay in bed, her eyes red from crying, when her phone rang. It was Danielle. Tell me you left, Danielle said immediately. No, Amira replied softly. Not yet. Why? He's cheating in your face, Amira. He brought her into your house, into your bed. I don't sleep in that bed. Don't do that, Danielle snapped. Don't downplay it like it's okay. It's not. Amira stayed silent. Danielle's voice softened. You're better than this. I know you don't feel like it right now, but you are. Amira let a tear fall. I feel like nothing, Danny. He makes me feel like I'm not even a woman, like I'm just something he got stuck with. You're not stuck, and you're not broken. You're beautiful, Amira, and strong, and you need to start fighting for you. Amira wiped her cheek. I don't know how. I'll help you, Danielle said firmly. But you've got to stop trying to earn his kindness. He doesn't have any, and don't let him guilt-trip you into thinking you're the problem. Later, that week, Amira visited her parents that weekend and broke down as she told them how Peter had been treating her. Her mother's face darkened with rage. I'll go speak to him myself, she said, but Amira shook her head. No, Mama, I need to handle this. I can't have him thinking I run home crying for help every time. I just wanted you to know. Her mother pulled her into a hug. Just promise me you won't let him destroy your spirit. I won't, Amira whispered. Not anymore. The next morning, Amira stood in front of the mirror in her oversized pajamas. She touched her stomach, her arms, her face. She saw the pain in her own eyes. Am I really that fat that no one would want me? She whispered. Then she looked closer. I'm not ugly, she said softly. She repeated, louder this time. I'm not ugly. And I'm not the problem. A few days later, an investors' dinner was hosted by the Daniels. Amira and Peter attended a high-profile dinner hosted by Daniels Corporation. The ballroom sparkled with chandeliers and murmured conversations. The guest list brimmed with power and prestige. Amira stood beside Peter in a simple black gown, elegant yet understated. She looked poised but tense. Peter held her arm as they walked in, putting on a fake smile for the crowd. But minutes into the event, he drifted away to mingle, not proud enough to be seen with her. Amira lingered alone, exchanging polite smiles with guests who recognized her as they passed. She wandered aimlessly, unsure where to stand or what to do. She glanced toward Peter. He was laughing with two executives when a woman in a red dress walked up and kissed him on the cheek. Amira's stomach sank. "Didn't think I'd see you tonight," the woman purred, clearly tipsy. "Miss me?" Peter smirked. "You know I did." The woman glanced at Amira. "Oh, right, your wife is here," she added with a mocking wave. Amira didn't return it. Peter turned slightly toward Amira, then said flatly, "Yeah, I had to bring her." The woman giggled. Of course, she's your legally wedded wife." Amira stepped forward. "Can we talk? Privately?" Peter sighed. "Now?" "Yes, now." He muttered to the group and followed her to a quiet corner. "I can't believe you brought her here," Amira said, barely containing her voice. "She's an investor's daughter," Peter said casually. "She belongs here more than you do." Amira blinked. "I'm your wife." "You're a placeholder," he replied. "I told you this already." "Then why not just divorce me instead of humiliating me every chance you get?" Peter rubbed his temple, drink in hand. "Oh, Amira, can't you just be civil for one night? Don't start a fight. We need to make a good impression." Arms folded, she replied, "You must think I'm stupid. You want me to play the perfect wife in public, and then you treat me like trash behind closed doors." "I'm not doing this," Peter muttered. "If you want to keep pretending, go ahead. I've got better things to do." "I want a divorce," Amira said coldly. Peter smirked, then walked away without another word. She stood there, chest heaving, eyes burning. She was seconds away from slapping him, or sobbing. Instead, she turned and walked off. "Leaving already?" Tina asked, sipping her drink. "Aren't you going to support your husband and his family till the end of the dinner?" Amira stopped. "You know what, Tina? I don't have time for your games tonight. You're just trying to get on my nerves." Tina tilted her head. "I'm not, sweetheart. I just think it'd be a shame if the only daughter-in-law left the party early without explanation." Amira gave a bitter smile. "I doubt your family would care." She walked out. Tina's smirk faded slowly as she twirled her wine. Outside the hotel, 10:22 p.m. Amira pulled off her heels and sat on the curb. Her phone rang. She answered without looking. "Danny, you okay?" Danielle asked. "No." "What happened?" "I'm done." There was a pause. "Say it again," Danielle said gently. "I'm done." And this time, Amira felt the words land deep. They were real, final, strong. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. Danielle's apartment. 1 hour later, Amira curled up on the couch in an old t-shirt and leggings. Her hair was loose, eyes puffy, but she looked lighter. Danielle handed her a mug of tea. "You really ready to walk away from that hell of a marriage?" she asked softly. Amira nodded. "Yes, I'm already gone." "Do you want to go back?" "No." "Not even a little?" Amira paused. "I wanted a husband. I got a curse. He made me feel like I was nothing. Every day. I started to believe it." "But now?" Amira stared ahead. "Now I want to see the better version of myself." Danielle smiled. "That's my girl." Back at Peter's house. That night. Peter returned home. The house was quiet. He removed his watch and walked around, checking for Amira. He dialed her number. No answer. Unbothered, he called Gracie. Babe, surprisingly, I came home and Amira's not around. Did you call her? Yeah, but she didn't pick up. Are you sure she's okay? She must be. We had a fight at the party. She threatened to leave. Guess was the reason she didn't come home. Anyway, forget about Amira. Let's talk about you. What do you have for Daddy this night? This night? Gracie asked. Peter grinned. Come keep me company. I'll be there, Gracie replied. That's my girl. The next morning, Peter, dressed for work, was heading out when the door opened. Amira walked in, with Danielle beside her. Well, look who's back, Peter said. Didn't think you'd return after last night. You're acting like you care, Amira replied coldly. Peter smirked. Actually, last night was the best I've had in months. Yeah? More best nights to come, for you, Amira said. Is there a point to this? He asked. There is. I'm not here to stay. I came to get my things. And congratulations, you and your family got what you wanted, but I won't let you walk away scot-free after what you did to me. Peter chuckled. Wow, you finally found the courage to leave. Now you want to play victim? Please, I'm just glad I don't have to share space with someone who only knows how to eat. Danielle snapped. Don't you ever talk to my friend like that. Peter grinned. You brought your little bodyguard? Cute. Anyway, I've got a meeting. Make sure you take everything. I don't want you using it as an excuse to come back. He grabbed his briefcase and walked out. Amira stared after him in disgust, then nodded at Danielle. They headed upstairs. Gracie, still in her nightgown, was coming down the stairs. Amira looked at her with disdain but said nothing. Danielle muttered as they passed, Hope you enjoy your time with him, bitch. Later that evening, Tina sat on the couch with Peter, sipping wine. I actually didn't expect her to leave so soon, Peter said. Tina raised a brow. Let's be honest. You were cruel. You didn't give her room to breathe. No woman would stay in that kind of marriage. I didn't do anything. She kept coming to me, expecting to be treated like a wife. Well, she was your wife, Tina said sarcastically. You could have at least given her some sugar. Wait, did you two ever even… Peter made a face. Never. I can't even imagine hugging her. That's impossible. Tina burst into laughter. You're wicked. She actually started losing some weight just to keep up with you. I didn't force her, but thank God she's gone. The deal's signed, my parents are happy, and I'm free. Smart move, Tina said, sipping her wine. The next morning in Danielle's place. Wakey, wakey, sunshine, Danielle sang, throwing open the curtains. Amira groaned. Danielle, 5 more minutes. Nope, if you're going to take your life back, it starts now. Amira pulled the blanket over her face. I left my toxic husband, not my right to sleep in. Danielle laughed. Fair enough, but if you want to rebuild, you've got to get off that couch. Amira peeked out. Can we start tomorrow? We start today. I signed us up for the gym. First session's at 10. Amira blinked. You're serious? As a heart attack. Now get up, shower, put on something that stretches. This is day 1. Amira sighed. Day 1 of what? Danielle grinned, playfully smacking her with a pillow on the butt. Get up, it's time to get your life back. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and stay tuned for the next part.